After a big run-up for stocks over the last few weeks, where can you look for some opportunities? We're back now with Dan Rohinton. He's portfolio manager at IA Global Asset Management with a few investment ideas. Dan, first of all, you were talking before the break about certainty helps when you're trying to model out the value of a company and decide how you're going to place your investment dollars. I know you've got a few different names in different sectors. Is there a common theme, though, with any company that you think about investing in?
I think the common theme in this set of companies, along with generally speaking the work we do, is understanding the profit pools, the durability of them, and a runway for positive incremental growth. And you can see that in the three different types of companies that we're double clicking on today.
Okay, against that backdrop, I want to talk about a company with the ticker symbol RELX, and Thomson Reuters is a name we know. Tell us a little bit more about this company.
This is actually the competitor based out of the UK of Thomson Reuters in the legal business, along with some other areas to diversify the overall RELX platform, and that's including areas like the academic world and the medical world as well. So when you think about what RELX does, it's really the database and the warehouse of human insight in different professional fields. And what they're doing, and the legal field is where Thomson Reuters comes into play as a competitor. But when you look at what they have, it's really the ability to take advantage of some of the new tools and some of the new analytic systems that are being built out and use those AI type of tools to really mine the data and the hundreds of years of data that they do have. So this is a company that's got stable cash flows, stable revenues, and an accelerating top line and an accelerating profit pool, largely because of new modern enablements of what is truly legacy and durable data.
And then let's compare that one to TransDigm, which is a leading maker of parts that are used by the airline industry.
That's right. So it avoids the tough part of building the plane. It avoids the even tougher part of flying and managing the plane if you're in Air Canada or Southwest Airlines. These are the parts and screws and really the small necessary pieces that are spec'd into the plane. So whether it's different parts of the engine, different parts of the actual cabin or the avionics, there's a role for TransDigm in that. So they are dual sourced or sole sourced in the majority of the parts that they do service. And a lot of this is in the aftermarket. So you make your money not when you ship your first screw or widget to the actual airline. It's the second, third, and fourth time around where you have really high margins. So all we need with TransDigm to grow its profit pool is having the airlines continue to fly the planes, not worry about the occupancy, not worry about the cost structure or anything of the sort. So it's that durable cash flow growth that we like with TransDigm.
And one sector that is definitely worth spending some time on, because there's a number of publicly traded companies that are tied to it, is waste management. As a business, you know, every time we get a bit shaky on where the economy is going, you hear people talk about these kind of companies having a reliable business. You talked about profit pools, regardless of whether the economy is going up or down. So Waste Connections, which trades in Toronto, WCN, was another name you wanted to flag today. What do you see in that business?
Yeah, it really comes down to garbage never goes out of style, let alone recycling and so on and so forth. So what you have is tonnage remaining in a consistent and growing pathway. It's actually very difficult when you really think about how hard it is to stand up a new landfill and build those types of capacities out there. So Waste Connections, along with some of their other peers in the North American market, are really in a league of their own in terms of very few competitors. You buy some of your mom and pops nearby, you're vertically integrated, and you have the flexibility to really drive positive pricing and manage margins higher consistently through every inflation cycle. So we're seeing them drive some of the scale benefits of labor while hold on to the pricing they took during some of the inflationary periods. So you have the defensibility, you have the durable growth, and there's been some idiosyncratic dynamics with Waste Connections more recently with their Chiquita landfill, but that's really been worked through as well. So that's why we think it's a consistent core facet of someone's diversified portfolio.
And according to Bloomberg, more than 70% of the analysts who track the company feel similar to you. They are bullish on the Waste Connections story. Dan, thanks a lot. Great to have you with us to break down some of the opportunities out there. We wish you a great weekend.
Take care.
Dan Rohinton.